everyone, welcome back to my channel. I haven't done an interview in a very long time, and I'm very excited for this one because it's not somebody that is already practicing, but is a final year student, right?
Yes,
final year student at Wits University, and I think this particular candidate or person that I'll be interviewing, which you'll meet very shortly, will help a lot of people who are currently studying and students or pupils in high school who are still not sure about law and if it's something that they want to do and how to go about getting into the actual field, right? So I'm excited for this. I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to ask my interviewee
yes.
to please introduce themselves.
No problem. For that, Atlehang. My name is Linda Zulu. I'm a fourth year LLB student here at Wits. Born and bred in KwaZulu-Natal. I don't know how brief my introduction should be. So I have background in science. Prior to studying law, I had studied some scientific degrees and I have some working experience. Then I'm here now.
Okay, wait. We didn't discuss this. How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
I don't know, maybe like 28.
Okay, that's a compliment. I'm older than that. I turned 30 in January.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I was able to do everything that I've done because I got my matric at 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you're from KZN?
Yes.
So you you basically did your high school in
Yes. I only came here for university.
Okay, cool. And you said your first degree was a scientific degree?
Yeah.
First 2 degrees? What
Well,
exactly
all of them.
and where?
Okay.
And when did you study this degree?
All right, cool.
Yeah.
At a very vulnerable age of 17, I had to move to Joburg when I didn't know anybody to pursue biotechnology. That was with the University of Johannesburg back in 2010, I think. Yeah. I completed that. I started working. I worked for FMCG, a company called didnt.
Okay.
I worked there as a laboratory technician, and then 2 years later, I got promoted into research and development as what was my job title? Research, innovation, something.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere along those lines.
Okay.
I then enrolled for a Bachelor of Technology in Pharmaceutical Sciences with the Tshwane University of Technology.
Okay.
Completed that while I was still working with didnt. I then moved.
So it was part-time?
Full-time.
Full-time, but
That's another full-time as well. Yeah, I'm quite crazy in
Okay.
that. I then moved from didnt to Equalab.
Okay.
I worked there as a food safety auditor / microbiologist. And then while at it, I then came to Wits and enrolled at the time I wanted to do medicine. So I wanted an honors in pharmacology, but it was already packed because I think they only took about 16 students and I applied late. So I had to settle for something else that was available because time is of the essence for me. I never want to take a gap, right? So what I did was then enroll the Bachelor of Health Sciences honors in bioethics and health law. Still with Equalab at the time, employed full-time, doing the honors full-time, crazy.
Wait. I know you're going on, but is it allowed? Can you work and study full-time?
You can. It depends on the relationship you have with your employer.
Okay.
So when Wits accepted me, I approached my boss. We had a very great understanding. I told her this is the situation. Wits has accepted me for this degree and I want to do it. So can I propose that from 9 till 4 I'm in class, and then from 4 till probably 3 a.m. I come to my work at the office. And that's exactly what I did. And I graduated on record time. I know. I know. So I'm dead serious.
So you studied full-time, but you still worked 8 hours?
And more sometimes.
When did you sleep?
I think I'm an enemy to sleep.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Very crazy. I agree with you.
Like that's also very admirable though.
Thank you very much.
Like I said, I think you're very ambitious. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think I am as well.
So then, how did you end up in law then?
Okay, interesting. So I never thought I'd end up in law. So after my honors, I then enrolled my master's with Wits still, Master of Science in Medicine.
Okay.
specializing in pharmaceutical affairs.
Yeah.
So I completed my first year in 2019.
2019, okay.
Yeah. I completed my first year, passed everything. I had already submitted my research proposal. Even it was going to be a novel study. I was going to be trying to discover a drug that's going to treat atopic dermatitis, which is like your chronic eczema. Okay. So my supervisors were very impressed with my research protocol and everything, only for me to come back in 2021 in January and say, guys, I'm switching to law school. I'm not coming back here. Really? I've decided I want to be a lawyer. Yeah.
But wait, what made you want to do law?
Interesting question, because I never wanted to do law to begin with. So what I realized is, okay, in 2019, this is what I forgot to mention. I was supposed to go write the WEPT. So there's GAMP at Wits. I'm going to explain shortly. There's GAMP, which is a graduate entry medical program for people with science, not just scientific degrees, but people with undergrad degrees. Yeah. They can apply for that, and then they start medicine in third year. Okay. So I had applied for that, right? And I was supposed to write the WEPT. WEPT is the Wits Additional Placement Test, which basically comprises anatomy, physiology, and molecular medicine. Okay. But at the time, I think it was the 24th of September, the day when I was supposed to go write, I had to fly home in Durban to go attend my late father's posthumous medal something for his services that he rendered where he worked. So I missed it. And when I missed it, I realized the age thing. I got my matric at 16. I think at the time I was 27, maybe 26, somewhere there. I haven't started medical school. If anything, I should be specializing right now. Clearly or surely, this is not the door for me, because every time I have to go to medical school, something would just happen and the door would just slam in my face. And then I decided, I'm a very spiritual person, Christian. I prayed about it. It was 12 at night. I woke up. I did something that I knew is very significant for any other Christian, which is surrendering your own will. I told God that, God, my own will is confusing me. It's failing me clearly. My own ways are failing me. So just take over from here. Whatever that you want me to do, I am prepared. I am willing. After making that prayer, I think 2 days later, randomly, I just searched an article on the net about law in South Africa. Just like that, I fell in love with law. And medicine was history. And then I came to Wits to try and sort out admission, and it was so easy for me to get in. I mean, the intricate requirements to get into Wits Law School are the same as the requirements to get into Wits Medical School. But getting into law school was not as hard as trying to get to medical school has always been. You know, so that's my story of how I ended up in law school.
That's crazy. I wanted to ask you what subjects you did in high school, but I guess they have nothing to do with law.
Absolutely. I did science. At the time, the only career in my mind, heart, and everything was just medicine. I didn't see anything outside medicine. You know, I just saw myself as a medical doctor. So I did science in secondary school. And
I think I want to say something to this point, that a lot of the times we want to force things, right?
Yes.
Or like, I mean, we all have desires. We all have like things that
preferences.
We want to do, right? And then like sometimes we hit like a wall. Every opportunity we get, it doesn't succeed.
Yes.
And we don't stop to pause and ask God, okay, God, what are you saying? Because God is always speaking, right? Instead of proceeding with what you think is right, listen to what God is saying. But you have to be in the position to hear what He's saying for you. You know, I'm not saying that's why people will find that they don't succeed in something that they're trying to pursue. But sometimes it's just God saying, listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, true.
Know, follow my direction, follow my ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really powerful.
Thank you.
For that.
Thank you very much.
So, I understand you did your science degrees at?
UJ, TUT and Wits.
Oh, so basically the third degree, or when you were studying at Wits, that's when you decided to do law, and that's why you did law.
I still wanted to do medicine, because my degree was still health sciences / sciences. Even the masters was still sciences. So at the time, I still wanted to be a medical doctor. It was only after I had completed, I missed the WEPT, because I wrote it the year before, But I remember we were with my friend. I was working because I remember also I used to travel a lot. Every month I'd fly to Durban, PE, and Cape Town doing the audits, and I still had to be in class, and I still had to prepare for the webs. So I never prepared. We were with my friend who just graduated with the LLB yesterday, Natalia. Yes. Natalia, yes.
Hi, Natalia.
Congrats. So Natalia and I were there at medical school because our honors was based in medical school. We never prepared for the webs. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You read intensely. We didn't get the time to do all of that. And then we realized that we're not going to be able to go through all of this. So that's not right. I remember driving out from med school to go to an engine garage to get something from Woolworths Food because we were hungry. When we came back, I told her, I'm just going to sleep in my car to give you moral support. I won't drive back to my place. But I'm not writing this thing. She's like, you've already paid your 100 rands. Let's just write. And if we fail, then we'll know what to expect next time, So I failed it the first time. The second time I missed it. Then that's when I realized that, okay, maybe I'm not meant to be doing medicine. Because also, universities like Walter Sisulu, you'd apply there and then you are on the waiting list, and then come January, you're calling every day, but there's just no clear direction. UP as well. I've also applied at UP. I was on the waiting list there. Come January, I can't get a hold of this person that they're referring to me to, and I'll just end up losing interest, So it was that. It was only after the prayer that I decided I want to study law.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what level did you enter? Which
A
year?
3-year LB.
Third?
No. I started in second year. Yeah, I started in second year because it's a 3-year postgrad LB.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So then they exempt you from doing certain modules, I would assume.
Not necessarily. Because, psych and all, those are the only courses that I didn't do, psych and English. But all the law courses that are done by everybody, even the people that are in the 4-year stream, I've done. The only difference between me and somebody who's doing a 4-year LB is that my curricula is quite packed. I do a lot of courses in 1 year and each semester. Contrary to somebody who's doing a 4-year LB, they'll probably take 3-4 courses a semester, and the other semester they take maybe another 3. I would take like 6 courses in one semester, 7 in another semester. Yeah.
Okay, wait, so I just want clarity on this.
Sure.
Does Wits allow students who have an undergraduate degree, regardless of which field?
Yes.
Do they allow them to do an LLB in a shorter space of time?
Yes, so basically the postgrad LB, the 3-year one, is for somebody who's graduated in any field. It doesn't have to be specific. Then we've got the 2-year LB, which is tailored for people who have either done a BCom law or a BA law. Then they do it for 2 years.
I see.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify.
Sure.
That. Okay, great. So wait, another question I have that I don't know if it's yet implemented. Does Wits still do straight LLB for like first year students who come in?
Yes, there is
form. They were going into the direction of you have to do a BA or BCom first.
There was a period, I can't remember for how long, where it was discontinued, and then I think in 2020 when I started my LP, they reintroduced it. So it is there, but it is only for people without any qualification. So if you even if you didn't matriculate last year, you could have matriculated 3 years ago. The fact that you don't have an undergrad degree, then you qualify for that stream. Anybody like myself who has a degree in anything, you are automatically disqualified, because now also there's like intricate requirements for the postgrad LB. You must have obtained a certain number of the percentage for the average, your academic average. It must be a certain average, something like that. So yeah.
Okay, got that. What practice area at the current moment do you think you're interested in getting into?
I am very drawn to public law,
okay,
and intellectual property.
Okay.
Intellectual property because of my scientific background, because intellectual property, life sciences, to be specific, patents and everything,
yes, of course.
For new drugs, you know. Yeah. And then public law because of the social responsive person me. I'm an advocate for social justice, and I feel like public law is the right platform for all of that. So hopefully one day I'll find myself at the bar litigating in public law, because I like public law litigation.
Yeah. All right, cool. Now, let's talk about you trying to get in the actual field.
Sure.
Practicing.
Sure.
Either as an attorney or an advocate. You're in your final year, right?
Yes.
And I know you've secured articles.
Yes, I have.
Which people are going to find out about. Now, when did you start applying for articles?
I started last year.
So that was your third year LLB, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in my penultimate year. I've always known that I wouldn't want to do articles in a boutique law firm or a medium-sized law firm, and getting into a big firm is quite competitive.
Yes.
So I started applying last year already. I applied, I think, in 3 big firms. Last year I had an interview in Vac Work already with one of the leading firms in Africa.
And how was that experience?
It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Vac Work and all of that.
Vac Work was quite intense. I was very overwhelmed.
Tell us what you do, because a lot of people always ask me, what's the benefit of Vac Work? What do you do? And I believe my Vac Work was way different to, what other people's Vac Work could be.
True.
Especially because mine was like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. That's very true. It really differs from one firm to another, how their Vac Work is structured. But with the firm where I had done Vac Work, it was basically, we would get tasks, they would give us assignments, be it in a specific area of law, and then you'd have to submit, and then you meet partners, associates, and also candidate attorneys in different practice areas that they have as a firm. Then they would actually explain to you what they do, how they do it. They would engage you, ask any questions that you could have. They would share the matters that they're working on, just to sort of expose you to the kind of clients that they're dealing with. So it wasn't a matter of we going to court, we're drafting this to submit to the partner. No, it wasn't that. It was basically introducing us to the firm, the culture of the firm, what the firm represents, and what the firm does. That was my Vac Work experience. But I know people that have done Vac Work in smaller law firms where they actually go to courts, draft, and so forth and so forth.
I see. Okay, cool. That makes it, I think that is a fair Vac experience. Because I think it's also quite unfair to expect students to do the actual work, because you're probably going to throw it to the side and you're wasting their time.
Instead of fresh, do the right thing.
Or work side by side whilst they're doing it, you're also doing it. I suppose the practical element of that is also good.
Agreed.
I just feel that it's better to just introduce them to the firm, the culture, so that they sort of understand the environment they're getting into. And did you pick up a sense of the environment that you were in?
I did, absolutely. I did.
And how was that?
It was lovely. It was very warm.
Okay.
It was very. It was quite warm. People are very friendly. You can obviously see it's a big firm, reputable firm. The work that they do is high-end, top-quality work. So you can see that you work hard, but the people are very nice. The culture is very warm. So that was the sense that I got from the Vac Work experience that I had. That it's a very nice firm to work with. They look after their employees. I mean, they were sending me gifts, endless gifts.
Do you mind sharing, no pressure, which firm this was?
I don't mind. It was Bowman's.
Okay. And then what happened? Because you don't have articles with Bowman's, you've got articles with another firm.
Yes. So I did go for the Bowman's selection days, which I can't go into detail about because we signed non-disclosure agreements. And in my view, it went really well, honestly speaking. But unfortunately, I got the regrets email, which was fine with me. It boils down to the relationship I have with God. I had this thing in my heart. I remember the friends that knew that I'm going for an interview, after they found out that I wasn't successful, they kept on calling, especially Natalia. She kept on calling me, making sure that I'm fine. And I'd be like, legit, I'm okay. This just wasn't my door. My door is going to open. Exactly. My door is going to open. So that's how I took it. I was still happy that I got the exposure because it was my first interview and it was with a big law firm. So it sort of helped me gauge what to expect should I go for another interview with either with a big law firm, medium-sized, or boutique,
And then you applied again this year for articles, or was it was this year? Yeah,
it was this year with the firm that I'm signed with. It was this year. I think it was in February.
For next year's intake? Because
they still are.
Firms, they still?
They still are recruiting.
Right. So how was that interview? How was that environment compared to Bowman's? Same or different?
No, different. I mean, different firms have operated with different cultures and different values. It was different, but not different in a bad way. Not to say that Bowman's wasn't good enough or this other firm wasn't good enough. But definitely different. I worked in there with Bowman's. I won't lie. I don't know, the partners there, not that they're not friendly or anything, but you sort of feel intimidated.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I worked with this firm. When I got there, it sort of felt like home. I wasn't as intimidated as I was with Bowman's.
Yeah.
So I started loving it from there. Before I even had my interview, everyone is just warm, welcome. Another thing, that's another difference. I had my Bowman's interview virtually, and then this one was in person. So I got to interact with the people, from the receptionist, HR, very warm people, and I loved it there. And then how the interview was structured was definitely different from how the Bowman's interview was structured. So
do they ask you legal questions, or
they
is
do.
it more personal?
They do. It's both.
They want to know that you know what you're doing.
There's going to be technical questions, and there's a lot of reading in a very short space of time as well.
Okay, so at least they prepare you, right?
For what?
If you say there's a lot of reading, it means that
during the interview.
Oh, what?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, during the interview, so it gets quite heated there.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are technical questions. I would definitely say that somebody that's going for an interview, even if it's with a small law firm, just always go prepared, guys. You know, we know which law courses are very important in commercial law firms. You need to know your contract law. You need to understand your business entities, because you need to understand companies, partnerships, and so forth and so forth. You need to understand your civil procedure, because every law firm has a litigation department, right? So know your civil procedure. You know, those are the basics. They love property law as well. Know your property law. Just don't go into detail, but just understand to a point that when you are being asked a question, you are able to try, even if you were not sure what the answer is, because you can't just say I don't know and shrug your shoulders. You know, you need to give it an attempt. But if you didn't do your preps, what are you going to attempt? You know, so it goes with a lot of preparation, not just for the technical components of it, also for your HR personal interviews. If they ask you, why do you want to work for Govuza and Associates, you must say, these are the values, these are my values, so this is the place for me. You know, so you must have done that research about the company, their accolades, and so forth and so forth.
I just want to qualify what he's saying, which is very true. Because my follow-up question to you was, how do you prepare for an interview in a law firm, technically, when you don't know under which God's green earth, you know, the sky? What are they going to ask you in law, right? You can't answer every single question, right? But what it is that you need to understand the type of law firm that you're applying to. What is it that they specialize in? Like, what are they big on? Because they're likely to ask you questions around that practice area. For example, something like Adams and Adams, which specializes in intellectual property law, if they ask you technical questions, you would have to have some understanding about intellectual property law. The big firms, they specialize a lot with like corporate work, mergers and acquisitions, like you said, disputes, civil procedure, civil procedure. That's something that you're supposed to know, because it's something that you do in school. It's part of your board exams, and it's part of the big practices within a law firm. So that's how you prepare sort of around the technical questions that they would ask you. It's not to say that, oh my God, what if they ask me something in, I don't know.
They do. Trust me, they do understand that we are students. We barely know anything. But you must also show that you have an inquiring mind and that you are able to apply yourself to whatever situation that is presented to you. That's what they want to see.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you scored articles with these guys.
Yes, I have.
And it's an international law firm. I'm not going to force him to tell us.
I can. Okay. I don't mind. I can. It's Allen and Overy.
Yes,
Thank
congratulations.
you. Magic Cycle Firm.
Actually, let's talk about this quickly, right?
Sure.
A lot of people students are not aware of international firms, the presence of international firms
in South Africa. Sure.
Right? A lot of people know about Big Five, but not necessarily international firms.
Sure.
And what international firms are basically Big Five firms, or the big firms across the globe. Right? So a Magic Circle firm is like the big firms in
London.
Europe, London, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that is quite amazing, because like basically it's easier for you to cross.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be traveling. I'll be going to London on a business trip.
And those guys pay a lot of money. They don't pay in South African rands.
Pounds.
So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's amazing. I think that's,
thank you very much.
That's very good. I know your career is going to be very prosperous.
Oh wow, thank you. I receive.
So now, how do you see? Like, what do you see? Where do you see yourself in like the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I definitely see myself being retained with Allen and Overy as an associate upon completion of my articles. And then I'm very obsessed with the courts. I'll probably be retained as a litigation associate. Then maybe once I've learned everything that I want to learn in corporate, then go to the bar.
Okay.
And I take the bar exam. And then be admitted as an advocate.
Yeah.
But also in the pipeline, I still want to go to Oxford for my LLM. So I need to figure out when I'm going to figure that. I still need to figure out when I'm going to fit that in, because it still has to happen. I don't see myself doing my LLM here in South Africa.
That's amazing, and I think you should pursue your dreams. And I know because you've got the will to do it.
Yes.
More than capable of doing it and getting in. And
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then let's see.
Danko.
What would you say are the benefits of studying in an institution like Wits?
Sure.
Or UCT or UP?
Contact institution. Yes. Just the contact.
As opposed to distant learning.
Alrighty. I haven't been exposed to distant learning, so my answer will purely be based on my experience in contact. One of the big components of it is the social aspect of it. It's very important for you to meet people, make friends here that are going to be associates in the near future. Interact. School is very stressful, so when you're here on campus, there's a lot of social activity that takes place. You have an opportunity to engage in extracurricular activities, which, by the way, boost you for interviews. When you go to the maybe I should touch a bit on that. So I feel like that's for me, the main advantage would be the crux of it all would be the social component of it, and having the opportunity to engage in extracurricular activity, which I don't think is true for distant learning. So
Tell me what extracurricular activities you are engaged with right now.
Absolutely. So last year I tutored family law, and then this year I am volunteering as a first year mentor with the Wits development and leadership unit.
That's great.
I wanted to join the writing center, but I did something when I was sending my application, it was incomplete, so I couldn't get the interview. I enjoy writing, legal writing, so I wanted to also work at the writing center. So why is extracurricular activity important when you're already dealing with so much work? I mean, law is so much work. We read a lot. So basically, and I'm just going to emphasize on this, I'm not saying that if you just have distinctions, you're not going to make it to an interview or be successful in the interview. I know people that didn't do an extracurricular activity that are with big law firms right now. But what I'm trying to say is, once you've done extracurricular activity, especially for the HR component of the interview, you've got things to talk about. Whatever that you claim, you can support. If I say I'm resilient, I'll say it's evidenced in X, Y, and Z. If I say I have the ability to simplify complex information to others effortlessly, it's evidenced in how I tutored family law and I was able to help students improve their marks, whoever that was battling with the concepts of family law. If I say I'm socially responsive, I can say I am volunteering as a mentor to first years. That's why I'm having extracurricular is so important. It gives you an opportunity to sell yourself, because so many of us are getting the A's. I can't just get there to the interview and say, oh yes, I'm passing my LLB with distinctions. Apart from passing with distinctions, what else are you? What else do you have? So it also speaks to your flexibility as a candidate. You are able to balance your studies and do well in your studies while you are busy doing other things on the side, and that speaks volumes to the employer. You are definitely somebody that they would want to work for, because the environment of being a candidate attorney is highly pressurized. There's pressure there. They need somebody who can be able to function under pressure. So when you go for an interview, you are selling yourself in that regard. And if you've done extracurricular activity, it makes your life really easy when you're trying to sell yourself, contrary to when you just have A's and you haven't really done anything. I'm not disregarding passing with distinctions. Like I said earlier, I know people that haven't done any extracurricular activity, but they are able to sell themselves. themselves, even without the extracurricular activity. But if you've done the extracurricular activity, it really makes your life easy. It really makes it easy for you to sell yourself, contrary to just, trying to wing things, yeah.
So, I mean, with an institution like UNISA, which probably doesn't give students an opportunity to engage in as much extracurricular activities, one would be like, well, then it's unfair. What devices do they have then left to their to use in their favor, right? And I would say that over and above what he said, I mean, those opportunities come because you're in a context, institution.
Excuse me.
I would say that with long distance studying, that I think people must find opportunities, right? Engage in like community,
volunteer, yes,
work, community service, volunteering, shadowing or whatever.
There's a lot you can do.
There's a lot you can do that you don't have to wait for the institution to say, "Hi guys, come do this thing." But you guys can go out there and find things to do. And if you don't know what to do, ask people who have walked that journey before. And that they will help you. Don't just be like, well, UNISA doesn't have extracurricular activities, so it's not.
I totally concur.
Do something. Right?
I mean, even getting a weekend job as a waiter at a restaurant, that's something you can speak about. You know, there's a lot.
Because you're going to learn something.
Yes, exactly. The list is really endless. You don't have to become a teaching assistant. You don't have to work for a writing center. There's a whole lot. The list is endless. There's a lot of things you can do. Just don't be passive. Be active.
And also, UNISA students actually don't have an excuse. I don't speak like I know everything, right? But seeing that it's part-time or it's long distance, most of your time is actually not taken up. So actually, it gives you an opportunity to actually find more things to do to boost you in that particular area of extracurricular
100%.
And a lot of people study at UNISA because they want to work at the same time. So there's other things that you can do as well as studying. Please do find those opportunities, guys. I'm asking.
Please.
And then, what is your advice to students in general? We're closing now.
Okay. Closing remarks.
Yeah, closing remarks.
Alrighty. Law requires a lot of hard work. You don't want to fall behind with your work. Don't ever underestimate anything and think, I've got this figured out. Always work hard all the time and smart. Attend tutorials. They help. I mean, when you do, especially with vids, because that's another story for another day, maybe another interview. Do your tutorials. If you do your tutorials and you were missing the whole points, that's how you're going to discover that I was actually getting it wrong. And then you fix that before you undertake a formal assessment, because once you take a formal assessment, there's no going back. So consult with your lecturer with things that you don't understand. Study in groups. Meet up on a weekend with your friends to study and discuss. It helps. Discussing the law really helps. It broadens your understanding, because I will give you my accounts, you give me your accounts, she gives me her accounts, something like that. So studying in groups also helps. Doing the tutorials. And most importantly, this is the best advice I can ever give anybody: case law. Case law. Know your case law. You walking into your assessment, you know your case law, because without case law, it defeats the whole point of you undertaking the assessment. What are you going to say? VETS doesn't expect you to regurgitate what the textbook is saying. Application is the crux of it all. Also learn IPAC. I don't know if other institutions also use IPAC, but here at VETS we use IPAC when you approach our problem questions. So basically IPAC, the acronym stands for issues, P, principle, A, application, and then conclusion. Using IPAC, that's what I've been doing from first year, and it's been working for me. I'm still doing it even today. Use IPAC all the time. Anything you don't understand, ask. It doesn't make you stupid. It makes you a student with an inquiring mind who always wants to understand. Ask. Seek for help, guys. If your mental health is affected, seek for help. We have services here on campus. Reach out to a friend, but don't think that just because you are going through mental health challenges, maybe you're weak or anything of that nature, but do take your mental health serious, because being a student also is a lot. It's just a lot. Apart from the academics, there's also things that are happening outside academics in your personal life that can sort of, when put together, weigh heavily on your emotions and your mental state, So
That was a mouthful. And very useful and very great. Thank you so much. Justice, what's your name?
Thank you.
I forgot.
Justice.
What's your second name?
Yeah, Linda. Linda Justice Zulu.
Zulu, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mr. Zulu.
Thank you for having me. It was nice. Ndabezitha. Mtwana.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
Please follow Justice on social media.
Justice_Mageba.
Yeah.
Mageba. Yeah. Oh, some people would say Mageba.
Is this thing really a Zulu thing?
Mageba.
Or you got it from the wife? What is it?
No, Mageba is my tribal name from Zulu. Like Ndabezitha.
It's like that thing on the wife.
Yeah, I don't watch the wife. But it's my tribal. Like Ndabezitha. Mageba is like Ndabezitha.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Right. Yeah, please follow him on social media. I think you guys can reach out to him. Don't harass him, but he can help you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
when it
happy
comes
to help where I
and
can.
Tips and all of that. I think it's more useful to get advice from people in his shoes because they are more like you. It's still an ongoing journey for you.
Yes,
And
definitely.
you're almost at the end, and you've done so well. And
The
you're
end and
still
the beginning.
fresh. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and yeah, see you guys on my next video. Bye.